Hey guys, welcome back. If you don't know me, my name is Thomas and I am in 3A of Civil Engineering at the University of Waterloo with a 4.0 GPA. And today we're going to be ranking all the courses from first year from 1A and 1B. So starting at absolute dog shit, these are courses that just took me from behind, or they were just boring enough to make me stick a pencil up my ass. At the second tier from the bottom, we have tragedy tier. And so these were just courses that just weren't that great, but I didn't get completely railed. This was probably just due to the course being badly organized, like mid to really shit teaching. And so in this third tier in the middle here, we have comprehensible. And so, these were courses that I just got through it without much of a hassle, but I wouldn't say they were ones that I really did enjoy. And at the second from the top, we have vibe courses. They were just pretty fun courses. They were like decent profs, chill course content. It wasn't too hard, it wasn't too easy. And yeah, these were just courses that I, just genuinely enjoyed. And so lastly, it's the white tier down my leg courses. These were like S tier, God tier courses. These were courses that I love so much that I would definitely take them again. And I'd be looking forward to these classes throughout my day. So for classes to be in this tier, the prof had to be really engaging, very organized profs. The material had to be pretty fun. And yeah, so these were just courses that I'd take 100% take again. 10 out of 10 would recommend. Yeah, and so let's get started. So first we have Chem 102. This was the PV equals nRT, the ideal gas law, equilibrium, electrochemistry, galvanic cells. So we had a first timer prof called Ellie Prince. She wasn't really that organized. She didn't really teach that well. And it was overall, I would say, like a pretty boring course. In terms of difficulty, though, it really depends on what you did in high school. Personally, for me, in grade 12, we did all of this stuff, so it was more or less just review. But for those who haven't had the opportunity to take these courses in high school, it's definitely a little bit more difficult. And so Chem 102 will be going into comprehensible tier. Next course we have here is Civ 100. And so, these were just the serving basics, front sight, back sight, point of interest, benchmarks, all of these kind of things. And so during your time in Civ 100, you would have a design project or just like a redesign project of Minota Hagi, where you'd actually survey the different points. And then you'd come back, the data would be there, and you would essentially draft it up in Civil 3D. You do all the grading, and also you do all the rendering and InfraWorks. And yeah, I think this was just a pretty enjoyable course. I personally took it with Bob McKillop. He was a very fun prof. However, I think he is retired right now. And so yeah, I placed this into a vibe course tier. And so Civ 104 mechanics. So just some background, I took AP Physics C mechanics in high school, and so this wasn't that difficult since it's just basic statics, but somehow, I don't know, it mentally screwed me over. So we had Rania Al-Hamoud. She was like the faculty chair of Civil Eng now, but when she taught, I don't think she was. But anyway, she was okay. She was an okay prof. I wouldn't say she was like incredibly outstanding. I wouldn't say she was incredibly boring either. But the thing is, what really pissed me off about this course and what really had me questioning my life decisions was we had a group project where we had to teach middle school kids about dams, about silos, about caves. I was pulling my hair out just because I was like, dude, no way I pulled up to the University of Waterloo and this is the first thing that I get exposed to. Anyway, so yeah, I want to put this into tragedy tier. Like, I wouldn't say it's bad enough. I wouldn't say this is bad enough to the point where, like, in a course perspective, but I definitely say, like, I don't know, it really got me questioning who be taking Civil Eng Waterloo, And so next course we have here is Civ 115. This was just introduction to matrices, vectors, your PDP inverse, your Markov chains. And something that I really didn't find that fun was, in order to do the actual assignments, I had to use the school computers or, pay money to use my own. I don't know, I just thought that was kind of stupid. But Eugene Kim was our prof, and he was okay. He was pretty decent. I think his teaching style, he was very clear. His English was very, very good. But I don't know. I just didn't really fuck with the course content. But I so then, it's comprehensible tier, it's a course. Now English 191 is a different story. So I didn't go to any of the lectures, and because like I don't know, this was more of a just know how to write an email kind of course. And so like a pre-grad course. I don't know if you guys ever took career life. Personally, I'm from BC. We have to take this thing called career life, which is just research careers. It's like one of those mandatory courses you have to take to graduate. It just felt like one of those, because it honestly was. But yeah, English 191, there you go. So yeah, this is going to absolute dog shit tier. Like throughout the entire thing, I just didn't know what the fuck was, I don't know what the fuck the point was. Okay, so let's talk about math 116. Zach Kramer, he was very engaging, very fun prof. He had videos online as well as other resources, and I just really liked how he was able to explain a concept, like a calc concept, in a way where even like middle schoolers would understand. And so I really liked this prof. Yeah, but anyway, it was a very chill course if you ever did AP Calc, AB, or BC. And like even to this day, I remember that one kid in class, he went like, "Excuse me, when are we going to learn the epsilon delta proof for limit?" And dude, the whole class just went like, oh. Anyway, so yeah, that was math 116. I would give this definitely a white tear down my leg. Essentially, those were all the 1A courses. And now going on to the 1B courses, we have Civ 105. Xie Wei Chao. This man single-handedly hard carried that course. Like, I mean, like, this is a math hard for solving quadratic equation. Yes, he had a bit of an accent, but the really awesome thing about him was that he had so much material, like study sets, past tests. And I went to the office hours. He was very helpful, very engaging as a professor. Like, I think he pulled up to one class, he was demonstrating how friction worked, and then he had like his hiking stick, he was poking it at the ground, he was like leaning on it, to give us like the understanding of how friction worked. This man was just awesome. Like, his lectures were engaging, his course content was very organized. I don't know, there's not many teachers like him nowadays. And also, just a random tangent, we found that he owns an apartment building, and he also gets like paid hella, because university websites do be publishing these salaries, and it's well deserved. Now for our next one, we have Civ 121. This one was just, it was a DSA, like data structures and algorithms course. And so, we did MATLAB. We knew what bubble sort was. We knew what a for loop was, if, else, things like that. So Civ 121 is going to go into the comprehensible tier. It wasn't that enjoyable. Civ 123, this one was the electric course. It was very, I think personally for that course, it was very self-studyable. Like, I never really went to that class, but I studied like a week before the midterms, and everything was chill. We went over things such as op amps, V equals IR, KVL, KCL, all the basics, electronics. We did phasor, we did like imaginary stuff. But I think just in terms of the prof, and so a lot of people from my class didn't really like him. I don't know. I think he was pretty chill, but I liked his accent. It was like, "This should be clear," when obviously it wasn't that clear what he was doing. But anyway, I don't know. I still really liked it, so I'm putting in vibe course. Okay, so Civ 153. This was the soils course. This was a geotech course. This was soil classifications, the types of dirt, how dirt fails. I think we had lab sections for hydrometer, sieve, Atterberg tests. And then so, you'd find out, oh, this is a silty clay. This is a sandy silt, it wasn't, dirt, man, dirt. Yeah, so I think also just Unger, like we had the like Unger as our prof, and he structured the course like I think pretty badly. The final exam was legit just a copy paste from the year before. Like, I think I studied the one before, and just exact same questions popped up at least 5 times. It was I think in terms of difficulty, it was like okay, like it was a memorization, it was like a hard memorization course. But I think in terms of engagement, that's definitely like, it was so bad. Like, I was pulling my balls off in that course. Like, yeah, so absolute dog shit tier. Okay, and so last but not least, we have math 118. Yeah, so I basically cruised through the course since I did calc AB and BC, but essentially we had a different prof called Harmsworth, and so he was like honestly just really bad compared to Zach Kramer. I don't know, like we got that prof and it's like, dude, there's no, I think Zach Kramer and like Wei Chow are like both like very up there, right? And Harmsworth was just bad. Anyway, and so he was super unengaging prof, you know. I swear to God, this felt like it was his first time teaching, even though it probably wasn't. This is just my review of the first year civil engineering courses at University of Waterloo. 10 likes and I drop my rankings for the second year civil courses. And make sure you hit that sub and like button if you enjoyed. And yeah, I love you guys.